What's up, guys? It's Drew Dillon from Project Lift, and on this week, we are going to help you answer the question, am I training enough? And I know this is a question that will come up with athletes, and even a tension and a fear that comes out of it. We're going to dig in and give you 3 specific areas that are going to help you answer this question. These areas are going to be, are you recovering? Are you able to bring consistent and even more energy into workouts over time? And then ultimately, are you improving? Now, one little caveat before we hop right in, when we go to answer this question, what I want you to realize through this process is it's a question that can only be answered over time. And I think that's a component that really gets athletes tight and fearful and uncertain, is they want it answered right now. Right? We're seeking some type of feeling to go, okay, I got enough, but the question's always there. And we're gonna finally break this down for you guys, give you something actionable that you can assess if you're training enough. Now remember, guys, if this helps you out, hit that like, that thumbs up, make sure you pass it forward and share this with somebody else you think it's gonna help. And ultimately, guys, subscribe, because more videos are coming each week.
So the first thing we're going to look at here is, are we able to recover? What we're talking about with recovery is, say, our sleep. Our sleep is so critical to being able to recover, create muscle growth, and to feel our best, be able to replenish ourselves for the next day training. And when we talk about sleep as part of recovery, we don't just mean one random night here and there. We really need to look at it in a bigger chunk of time, the last 3 or 4 weeks. If over that last month or so, we've had more poor nights of sleep than good nights of sleep, that can be an indicator that we are overtraining. Same thing if we wake up in the morning and we have aches and pains, we have a hard time getting out of bed, and it's, what's going on? It's not just one night because it dropped to 20 degrees overnight or 0 degrees here where we are. It's looking at, again, that past, that what has been going on the last 3 to 4 weeks. If it's every day I'm waking up and I'm having a harder and harder time moving myself in the morning, again, that can be an indicator that we are overtraining. So we need to look at these components of our recovery so we can able to replenish and bring more into the gym each day, which leads us to number 2.
All right, guys, so number 2, are you able to bring consistent energy to workouts and even increased energy into workouts over time? Now, this obviously ties into what we just talked about, number 1, around are we able to recover? And this is very important, and we're gonna see this trend over time. So this is for when athletes are being able to track their workouts, being good with their journal, and actually taking notes and reflecting on how they're feeling coming in. One way it was said to me by a friend who's been very successful in training, and he basically said, when he had his most gains, it was when he understood the thought process of walking in the door. It's not about how much intensity I can bring. It's about, can I bring in as much intensity as I can that allows me to be recovered by the next day. So this is a variable that we can track over time. If you think of training as you're walking in the door at neutral, you're at 0, and you train, right? So all of a sudden now your body goes into a deficit, right? So you train, so you go down to like a -3 on this imaginary scale we just created, right? By the next day, are you back to neutral to be able to bring that intensity, to be able to bring that energy, or are you still at a deficit? So watching this trend over time can help us answer that question, are we training enough? Because we want to be able to still be able to bring consistent energy into workouts versus declining energy over workouts. And if we see that declining energy, if we're starting to get beaten down, we're training too much. We can make adjustments around that. And if you are coming in feeling really fresh, there could be a variable where we might up the training potentially, right? To see if you can maintain that or if that's a smart decision. But we'll talk about that more here in the next one.
And number 3 is, am I seeing improvement? Now, looking at this, improvement can mean many different things depending on where you are in your cycle. And again, it's looking at not just this last day or week, but the last 3, 4, 6 weeks, looking at this over time with your improvement. If you've been going into this cycle with the intention to correct a technical error, right? Have we not just corrected it, but have we built consistency with that improvement? If we've gone through a strength phase, have we seen improvement with that? Again, there's so many different definitions of that improvement, but looking at that over time, and again, what was our intention going into that cycle? So looking at everything that we talked about today, guys, looking at your recovery, looking at, are you able to show up consistently with energy every training session, and are we seeing improvements over time? Now you can go through this and check yes, yes, yes to each box. If that is, yes, I'm recovered, I have that recovery, yes, I'm showing up with that great consistency and energy, and yes, I'm seeing improvement over time, then it could be an opportunity for you to add a little bit more volume, a little bit more stimulus to your training for a period of time. But at the same time, when we look at this, if we're checking all these boxes, what is our goal? What is our intention with our training? To train the most or to see the improvement over time? And if we are seeing that improvement, we may be exactly where we need to be, especially for at least this time. Again, it connects to where you're going, what you've seen over time, and what are your goals with training. Now, we want to hear from you guys. If any, check in that comments box, type it in of, have you asked yourself this question before? Am I training enough? And did any of these questions support you today? Love to hear from you guys. We'll see you next time.